Hello, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Keon.
And this is Trust Your Doctor, that podcast where Harry Potter rides a bike through the desert, because this week we watched The Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
Written by Stephen Wyatt.
Directed by Alan Waring.
And aired in December of 88 and January of 89. Wonder what he was wearing when he directed this.
That joke didn't get any better the second time you made it, by the way. Probably got worse.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, no, I thought this was already the greatest show in the galaxy.
Yeah, we watch The Greatest Show in the Galaxy every week. But we have been for 3 years now. Yeah, but The Greatest Show in the Galaxy is about to get greater.
Because this week we have the Psychic Circus.
The Psychic Circus that never actually really does anything psychic, this entire serial.
I mean, maybe those, like, psychic energy blasts at the end. I don't know.
But it was called the Psychic Circus before those people took over the circus, so...
Yeah, maybe that's why they took it over. I don't know.
Well, so anyway, here's a fun fact for you. The reason why this story is set in the circus is because there was an asbestos scare in the BBC, so they needed a serial they could film in a giant tent outside.
Yeah,
So-
not sure what part of the UK they went to that's just like a desert wasteland. But yeah.
The bombed out parts. Okay, that's
Central London. No. Never mind.
no. Anyway, it starts with some spam mail. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. It starts with the ringleader in the ring of
yeah.
the circus doing that hip hop number.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. He goes and like adds a bit more to it every couple of minutes.
It's apparently the
twice
first
an
original
episode.
song written for the show since the Gunfighters. Remember that Ballad of the Lost Chance Saloon?
I mean,
That played at
When
the end
that-
of every episode.
when I read it, I remembered it, but like I wouldn't have remembered it otherwise. I guess they're not counting the soundtrack for the show as original music.
Well, I think they mean like original song with lyrics.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting, I guess.
Yeah, so then we get spam mail in the TARDIS. Somehow this irritating robot just materializes in the TARDIS and plugs itself into the console. You'd think there'd be better applications for this technology than sending spam mail to people, like, I don't know, taking over people's spaceships.
But no, apparently not. Ace is like, oh man, it's some junk mail. And she's like, oh man, it's junk mail that talks back. When she tells it that, like, hey, we don't want to go to the Psychic Circus, you jerk robot.
And the robot's like, well, okay, screw you too then. Then the doctor's like, well, we're not doing anything better, Ace.
Yeah, the doctor does want to go to the Psychic Circus, and he convinces Ace somehow. It was sort of a funny scene, but I don't remember exactly what it entailed.
Yeah, Ace is kind of like digging around. She's looking for her Nitro 9, I remember now.
Yeah, because that actually comes into play like once in episode 4. She's like, oh man, I wish I had some Nitro 9.
And she pulls out the Fourth Doctor scarf, and also Mel's polka dot shirt/dress thing. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Which begs the question:
Why didn't you put both of those on?
that is the question. No, I was gonna say it begs the question: do companions just ditch their clothes in the TARDIS when they leave?
They leave naked.
Yeah. So
You don't remember that scene when Ian and Barbara left and they were running around the streets of London naked and got arrested?
I thought they got arrested for being loonies and running around yelling about space travel and time travel in 1965. Well, anyway, the Doctor and Ace go to the Psychic Circus, and because apparently the Doctor's either A, a jerk, or B, doesn't know how to pilot the TARDIS, lands like 5 miles away from the circus on a desert planet.
Oh, God. So, yeah, they have to walk. And eventually they come across this
Fruit
really,
seller.
fruit seller with a bad attitude towards the psychic circus. Which makes sense when you find out that it's being controlled by malevolent gods. But,
Well,
at first it's just like, wow.
she's kind of just xenophobic because she's like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
if you don't live here, I don't like you." I mean, she doesn't exactly say that, but she basically says that. So the Dr. Nace...
and there is like good reason to be wary of the psychic circus, just given that like establishing scene, which kind of paints it in sort of a sinister light.
You mean
with
that?
those creepy clowns?
Yeah. Yeah, Ace doesn't want to go to the psychic circus because she thinks clowns are scary, and the doctor's like, "You gotta face your fears,
Rightly
Ace."
So,
Yeah, the doctor's like, "You gotta face your fears, Ace." And then in episode 2, I actually made a note of this. The doctor's like, "You know what? Ace was right. Clowns are scary."
the clowns in this serial were actually incredibly creepy, especially the lead clown.
Yeah.
So, good job, like makeup department and actors
Yeah.
and director.
His smile
I guess.
was terrifying. So, yeah, they're at this fruit seller, and she gives them some fruit, which just looked like a hollowed out watermelon.
Yeah, but the insides were like paste, almost. Ace mentions like, "Wow, this looks really disgusting." The doctor's like, "Yeah, but we gotta eat it anyway."
Yeah. He's like, "We gotta show her that we're good people, so she'll tell us the way to the psychic circus."
Yeah, she's also like really old fashioned, and she's like, "I don't want these improper hippies running around." There's all these like not bombed out, but like hollowed out, destroyed hippie buses lying around. So I thought they were going for like, oh, it's actually Earth in the future thing, but no.
No, it's
Surgenax or whatever it was called.
wow. Is it named after the circus? Surgenax?
There's a circus called Surgenax.
No, I'm asking if Surgenax comes from the word circus.
Probably not.
But now we meet Nord.
I don't know. Yeah, now we meet Nord.
The baddest biker in all of Surgenax.
The only biker in all of Surgenax. He stops by the fruit stand, and he's wearing this, like, bat wing helmet. Sort of like a Batman mask with bat wings sticking out of it.
He's not even actually biking, because I'm pretty sure he's riding a tricycle. It's got 3 wheels.
Yeah, it's like some sort of ATV style thing.
Ace calls it Ace, so I'm glad they haven't forgotten that character trait, Ace.
Yeah, they've just mostly abandoned it.
And Nord's like, "Yeah, get away from my bike, woman."
Well, he doesn't like make it sexist. He's just a jerk all around to everyone.
I mean, yes, he's a joke to everybody, but...
Especially Ace, probably because she takes a lot of interest in his bike.
Yeah, and the doctor thinks that Nord could give them a ride to the psychic circus, and Nord's like, "I don't give rides to anybody. I'm Nord." And he rides away, polluting the atmosphere, which is what the fruit seller says. He's like, "Look at him polluting the atmosphere with his bike."
Yeah, well, I want to see how you get your fruit shipped to you, fruit seller. Do you use the old horse and carriage method? I didn't think so.
I think
No,
so.
I'm just kidding.
Looks
I
like
do
she's
think
got
so.
a carriage there. Don't know where the horse is.
Maybe she also sells horse meat. I don't know.
Oh, God.
You can get horse meat like here in
I'd
grocery
rather
stores.
not, thanks.
Well, you're vegetarian, so I don't think the fact that it's horse meat really has much to do with it. I think just the fact that it's meat in general.
Anyway, the doctor and I almost said Mel. Probably because they
That
meet...
would have been weird.
I think it's because they meet Captain Cook and Mags.
Yeah.
So,
Captain Cook is like a 19th century style explorer dude.
yeah, I guess all these people going to the circus are like different story character archetypes, I suppose.
I read that WizKid was an intentional parody of Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
Might be
Is that why they kill him?
might be saying something that he sacrificed to the gods of entertainment. So, I don't know, really. But it might also be saying something that he's a unnecessary and unwanted nuisance to everyone around.
Well, Captain Cook is at first just an irritating, bumbling fool who likes to tell stories, and then later he's
I
kind
liked
of
him
a big jerk.
I kind of liked him at first. I mean, he's probably a colonialist and imperialist, but
Yeah, I mean, he like keeps telling the doctor about how he rescued Mags for her own good, and Mags is like, I hate Captain Cook. She's like, please kill me. I want to die.
yeah, Mags kind of looks like almost sort of what they turned Perry into in
Yeah, that's
Vengeance
exactly
on
what I was going to
Meros,
say.
but with a more human face.
Yeah. Captain Cook has his desert camo on. It's not camo, it's just desert colored suit.
And yeah, they don't get along. So
I wonder why.
I think Mags, or maybe it's Cook, I don't remember. One of them is fixing a robot that's like half buried in the sand, and all of a sudden,
Definitely Mags, because Cook doesn't do anything. Cook just lies. Cook's sitting under an umbrella, like sipping tea, and Mags is like,
yeah, that's true.
trying to repair this robot, and Captain Cook's like, this reminds me of that time on like Alpha Centauri where I did blah blah blah, and the doctor's like, oh, right.
So the robot reactivates and almost kills them, and they deactivate it somehow. I forget how. But isn't there actually like some famous explorer named Captain Cook?
Yes, pretty sure there is. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't him, obviously, because this guy's not from Earth.
I mean, it might be. It might. Maybe there's some explanation about how he got beamed into space one time, and then he stole a spaceship, and
maybe.
You never know.
Yeah, I guess I thought there was some like line that hinted like he's not from Earth, but I don't know. Maybe there's not.
I don't know. They never said where anyone was from this series, except those gods at the end.
They were from Ragnarok.
But in between all this, we've been getting scenes of this guy wearing a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band jacket.
Yeah, and Flower Child, an appropriately named hippie-looking girl.
Yeah, so it's Bellboy and Flower Child, and they're at this bus, and they're like, we got to escape.
Yeah, the kites are after us.
Well, when you say it like that.
It was true, they were using kites to, like, surveil them. I don't even know if that's a...
Yeah, they have those spam robots that beam into spaceships, but they're using freaking kites to trace these people.
Yep. So they have to get away, and Bellboy's like, I can't go on, just let me die. And Flower Child's like, no, I can't let you die. But then Flower Child dies. She's killed by a robot.
Well, Bellboy gives her something. And
like one piece of the thing that they need later.
Yeah, to repair the robots, I guess, because he's deactivated all the robots, because he built them all. So he gives himself up to be taken back so Flower Child can get away, but then she gets killed by the robot conductor of the bus.
Yep.
And she drops one of her earrings on the ground, which is important, because in the next scene, Ace and the doctor show up at the bus, and Ace finds the earring on
and
the
the
floor.
Robot finds them, and he's like, tickets, please. And they're like, And he shoots like a laser, and he's like, tickets, please.
Yeah, so real friendly bus conductor, probably more friendly than the ones we
realistic.
have around here.
And they deactivate him somehow. I think the doctor.
Yeah, I think the doctor deactivates him. I assume the doctor killed him at first, but then he just shows up again later. So
yeah. Or was that a different one?
Pretty sure it was the same.
I remember they were like, they carried... No, I'm pretty sure it was different, because I remember the clowns like carried him out of this like carriage type thing.
Yeah, to the hearse, and they took him back, and then Bellboy fixed him.
Oh, okay. I guess it was the same guy.
I thought that was the implication, because they got Bellboy to fix all the... Because all the clowns were robots, except for the head clown.
Yeah.
And Bellboy built them, so...
I guess they got him to fix the conductor guy.
The conductor's the guy who's just ferrying people to the psychic circus.
And killing them if they don't have a fare. Maybe that's why they're so down on their luck and out of money. No, it's probably those malevolent gods controlling everything.
Yeah,
probably had something to do with it. So yeah, we've gotten, I think, some shots of the psychic circus at this point. Looks very sinister, and there's only like 3 people in the crowd, although there's an entire like laugh track.
Yeah, the crowd is supposedly filled with tons of laughing people, but it's not. The three people. It's
Just
the
filled by
mom.
this dysfunctional family.
Yeah, it's a mom, dad,
Not
and
really.
a kid.
Yeah. The kid keeps asking questions, and the dad's like, "Shut up, eat your popcorn."
Where do they even get? Who's making the popcorn?
Maybe it's Morgana. Maybe she's relegated to
Yeah,
popcorn
what's
duty.
Morgana's job?
She's a fortune teller.
Because when Captain Cook and Mag show up, they don't get asked to pay for tickets. They just get shown right on in. That's probably why they're down on their luck and out of money. They're not actually charging anyone when they get there.
Yeah, because they don't feed on cold hard cash anymore. They feed on entertainment value, I guess.
Yeah, but money speaks.
And its speech is entertaining.
Yeah, well, so Captain Cook and Mags get there, and they go in and they see
The ringleader.
yeah, the ringleader and Bellboy. They're taking Bellboy backstage and torturing him.
Yeah. That's how episode 1 ends. Is like Bellboy gets tortured and like probably killed, but no, he's actually still alive. And they bring in Mags and Captain Cook, and they're like, Captain Cook doesn't react, and Mags like screams, and then it ends.
No, the actual cliffhanger is Mags is screaming, and then Ace is like, "Do you hear
Oh,
that?"
yeah,
and then they
this is-
silence Mags, and Ace is like, "Oh, I don't hear it anymore." And the doctor's like, "Okay." And then the actual cliffhanger is the doctor going, "Are we going in or not?" And then it ends. And I was like, "What?" They should have.
was
They
kinda
should have
weird.
just cut it when Mags was screaming. That would have been a better cliffhanger.
Yeah, not sure why they didn't do that, but just another mystery of Doctor Who.
So episode 2 begins with that. The doctor's like, "Are we going in or not?" And Ace is like, and the doctor's like, "All right, guess we're going in."
No, they go back like 3 minutes. They make you
do the
watch the
War Games
entire
thing.
Bellboy scene again, and yeah. And like we mentioned, every time they do this, like, yeah, if you were watching these a week apart, sure, this would probably be a good thing, but I watched it right after, so
Yeah, I watched it, but only days apart. So they, they decide to go in, and they see Morgana, and they're like, "We're here to see the circus." And Morgana is like trying to get them to go away. She's like, "No, you don't want to be here. We're being controlled by a malevolent psychic eye."
yeah, except she doesn't drop that bit of information.
She probably should have.
Yeah, but they were probably watching somehow,
Yeah, through
using the malevolent psychic eye.
They was looking through the fortune-telling globe.
Oh, really?
You see the eye of the globe later.
Huh, I didn't notice that. It's pretty cool.
Um,
Oh yeah, I do think I remember that. Maybe.
it was later. Like, it showed up once later, and then later, the globe blows up.
Yeah, it was when there was like a hurricane inside the tent, I think. So yeah, the doctor and and Ace like talk to Morgana a bit, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a fortune teller, and I don't really fortune tell anymore."
Yeah, I realized I was scamming people. Actually, in this universe, she probably can actually tell the future, but in our universe, there's no
you never
proof
know.
either way. Is what I'm saying. There's no proof. There's no proof. So, yeah, the Doctor and Ace go in to the circus, and the ringleader's like, "We need someone to come on down." And they point at the Doctor, and he's like, "Oh, me?" And they're like, "Yes, you." And he's like, "Oh man, I'm so excited."
Yeah, somehow the doctor hasn't figured out that the psychic circus is up to no good.
Well, either he
Somehow.
hasn't figured it out, or he's playing it off like he totally doesn't know it's up to no good.
That's
and
what I thought, but then he gets caged later, and he's like, "Darn, how could I have not seen this coming?" But I couldn't tell, like, based on his acting, I couldn't tell if the "darn, how could I have not seen this coming" was actually "darn, how could I have not seen this coming," or him just, like, continuing to act like he didn't know what was going on. I just
I'm
really
gonna
couldn't
act
tell.
like it was him acting, because I think that is better for the Doctor as a character than him not seeing it coming. Actually,
Probably, but I don't really think that's what they were going for at all. I think they were actually going for, like, he was actually tricked, which is weird because that's not usually what happens.
I guess, but it's okay. It's kind of made up for the fact that later he has this whole Sherlock Holmes plan where he knows everything that's going to happen down to the minute, even though there's absolutely no way he could have predicted any of that happening. But we'll get there. So, yeah, he gets taken back, and Ace is like, "Wait, let me come with you." And then these clowns show up, and she's like, "Ah!" Rightfully so, because these clowns are terrifying.
Yeah.
And she bolts. So they get split up.
Yeah, the doctor is in a cage with Mags, Cook,
And Nord, the baddest biker.
Who's understandably pissed now. He's not ununderstandably pissed anymore.
I just
been caged.
Where Captain Cook's getting all his tea. Because he's sitting there drinking more tea, and I'm like, what?
And there's also Deadbeat, who has probably been mentally scarred for life because he just sort of hangs out outside the cage, creepily creeping about.
Creepily creeping about. Yeah, he's like... He's really slow to talk, and the doctor's like, I guess his brain's been fried. Because he just doesn't react to anything they ask him, and then he just buggers off to somewhere, and they're like, well, I guess that's Deadbeat. Guess that's why he's called Deadbeat.
Yeah, they changed his name after he got, like, brain fried, I guess.
Yeah. So Ace is running around, and she cuts this hole in the side of one of the corridors and hides on the other side of it, and they miss her. I actually liked that they brought that hole back later when the Doctor and Mags were running through. The Doctor sees the hole and he jumps through it with Mags when they're running away in episode 4.
A nice touch. Not really too important, but hey.
Just a nice bit of continuity. But yeah, Ace comes back in and she... does she find Bellboy?
Yeah, well, she gets attacked by the clowns.
Yeah.
But that's like part of the cliffhanger, so I think there's a bunch of stuff we're skipping. We skipped WizKid's introduction.
Oh, yeah.
The best character in this serial. So yeah, just out of nowhere, you see this guy like materialize and hop on a bike and start biking through the desert. And it turns out that it's actually Harry Potter.
Yeah, he looks like Harry Potter. He meets the fruit seller and she thinks he's a native, and then he's like, I'm going to see the psychic circus. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're like, one of them.
She's like, what a nice change of pace to see a nice, well-mannered young boy around here. And he's like, where's the circus? And she's like, oh, God.
She's like, damn it. Why did I take up selling fruit so close to the circus?
Pretty sure the circus took up circusing too close to her selling fruit.
I mean, but it's implied the circus has been there for like a couple years now. So...
I mean, not really. Where is it implied that...
I felt like that was what
case.
The implication was when they were like, we're running out of people to entertain you with, because they've just been like killing off people from the surrounding area for months and months and months. Like, that's what I thought they were implying.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was just like they landed down on this planet and there's like nobody there, so they're running out of people to entertain them. I don't know. But yeah, so this character is apparently a deliberate parody of Doctor Who fans, like we mentioned, and yeah, he's really annoying.
Because he's super excited for the Psychic Circus. He's collected all their posters and all the original annoying spam mail.
Apparently he's also a huge Captain Cook fan. For some reason.
Well, what is this kid?
How does he know? Does Captain Cook, like, publicize all of his adventures?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, probably.
He probably... He probably... Like, the way his character's based, it sounds like he way over-embellishes all of his stories, and he actually hasn't really done that much.
But at least he can...
trick Nord into going into the ring for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, put out a great story about the Psychic Circus, but he actually can't do that because he's dead. Yeah, he gets Nord to go put on his act first, because they're getting everyone in the cage to put on an act.
Yeah.
Nord goes out and gets killed.
Yeah. Well, so it's if you have to entertain the family, and once you stop entertaining them, you die.
Yeah, they have number cards like in the Olympics or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like the number cards only have 9s and 0s.
Yeah, it's either one or the other. It's no real middle ground.
Nord fails at telling some jokes, and you're like, wow. Oh, you forgot to mention at the beginning of the serial, the Doctor was trying to learn how to juggle by hanging this book from the ceiling of the TARDIS, and he was reading out of it while he was juggling. Only bring that up because the Doctor does magic later. Yeah. Apparently Sylvester McCoy was actually coached by like a famous magician of the 80s to do magic for the serial.
Yeah, apparently. Although I'm pretty sure they could have just done with effects.
They could have, but... He did some pretty cool magic tricks, to be honest.
It adds to the realism.
I mean, the tricks were pretty cool, to be honest.
Realistic serial.
They were...
yeah, they were pretty cool.
actual magic.
The snake one was a bit, I don't know, extra, but
The snake one was a bit over the top, but still cool. The Doctor tries to play the spoons as well, which is something he's been doing for his whole run, but we've just neglected to mention.
Yeah,
Every so often he just whips out these spoons. I'm gonna play some spoons.
that's what he wants to do as his psychic circus act in the beginning. He's like, I'm going to play the spoons in the psychic circus.
And they're like, no. Yeah, apparently Sylvester McCoy can actually play the spoons in real life. That was just something he wanted to do.
Well,
on
I
screen.
mean, obviously he can, like, he's really good at it.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying he didn't get coached in it like the magic. It was
yeah.
something he could do before he...
Yeah.
He still does it at fan conventions, like, hey, we play the spoons. Like, yeah, sure, I'll play the spoons for you. So yeah. Mags and the Doctor, like, escape from the cell by whoop-de-wop and the clowns. They start running through the ill-defined tent corridors.
Yeah, it sort of seemed like the tent just led into, like, some ancient catacombs or something.
This is the tent connected to the entrance of this ancient tomb.
They come across this, like, ravine type thing, and at the bottom is this evil eye.
Yeah, and they're like, well, the Doctor's like, I've seen that eye somewhere. And yeah, Mags is all, yeah, it was on the outside of the catacomb entrance. The Doctor's like, oh, right. And then Captain Cook shows up with the clown. He's like, sorry, Doctor, but I need someone to go into the ring before me, and that's gonna be you! And that's how episode 2 ends.
Yeah, I really liked this cliffhanger because I thought it was going to be like, oh, Cook was controlling the circus the entire time, but no, he's actually just using this chance as a chance to take a really jerkish chance at survival.
Yeah, pretty much. So the Doctor gets, no, actually, so they're getting taken back, and right as they exit the catacombs, Mags, like, yells, and the Doctor escapes to go run around a bit.
Yeah, Mags sort of, like, goes feral, sort of.
Foreshadowing for what's going to happen at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so Ace has met Bellboy at this point.
Yeah, Bellboy explains, like, hey, I created the robots. The psychic circus used to be great before some bad stuff started happening, and now it's not. And Morgana and the ringleader went along with it while me, Flower Child, and
Kingpin.
And a bunch of other people who presumably died before the start of the serial decided to rebel and failed miserably.
I met Head Clowns going along with it, too.
Yeah.
And Head Clown seems the most in on it. He's like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, I'm also considering he kills the other two later.
Yeah, classic business move. Kill your partners to take their stake in the business.
Classic birthday party clown, you know, kill some people for the entertainment value. just a down on his luck, like 45-year-old with a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm here to entertain your kids.
That news report. Wanted clown. Jojo the clown is wanted for the murder of 6 parents in the state of Arizona. They put up a picture of him in his clown makeup. So the Doctor, I think, runs into Ace and tells Ace that... So actually, the reason why Ace gets, I guess, accosted by the clowns is because they noticed the earring that she found at the bus, which she had pinned to her jacket. It's like, where'd you get that earring? Because it was Flower Child's.
Yeah.
So the Doctor's like, you need to find a way for us to get out of this place because we're going to die here. And Ace is like, all right, Professor, I'll work on it.
There's also the sort of scene where she, like, kind of conquers her fear of clowns. That was before she met Bellboy.
It was after she met Bellboy the first time, but before the second time. Because she meets Bellboy the first time, and he doesn't
really
recognize
do
her
anything.
or do anything. And then the clowns try to get the robots to kill Ace, and then Bellboy stops the clowns, and that's how she meets him the second time and learns all this backstory. And
she, like, rips off one of their arms or something.
yeah, the Doctor shows up actually with Kingpin, and that's when the Doctor realizes that they need to get the medallion that Kingpin's wearing.
Deadbeat is Kingpin, if we didn't already mention it.
Yeah, the Doctor realizes that they need to get that medallion to the pit with the eye, so he tells Ace to work on doing that while he goes into the circus to distract them.
Yeah. Which works great.
It does surprisingly work like better than expected, because you'd expect Ace to get immediately captured.
Yeah, it does. Well, meanwhile, Cook has convinced WizKid to go to his death before him.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to let you go before me because you're just such a big fan. And WizKid is like, all right. And he goes in and gets vaporized. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Indiscriminately just killing people at this circus. Equal opportunity murder.
Yeah. Pretty much what every circus does,
Actually, the Barnum and Bailey circus just announced that, well, not just, it was a couple months ago now, but just announced that they're ceasing all operations. Circus is shutting down. Basically, circuses are a dying breed now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of bad connotations with going to the circus.
Mainly because they kind of treat their animals like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Hasn't stopped SeaWorld from
continuing to operate.
Yeah. Or like probably any of the other facilities that handle animals.
Like zoos.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to make a blanket statement about zoos. Because I really don't know.
Some zoos are better than others. Really depends what the zoo does. If it does like animal rehabilitation or if it just puts them on for show. Obviously the former is better than the latter. For the animals, anyway. For the animals. For sure, for the animals.
Yeah.
Anyway, moral of the story, circuses are dying.
It's not really a moral, it's more of just like a cold, hard fact.
Yeah, well, facts don't exist anymore, so... The Doctor comes up with this plan to have him, Mags, and Captain Cook all go into the ring at once because he's like, a bigger act will let us all survive longer. And Captain Cook doesn't buy into this because he thinks if he just sends the other two in first, he'll live a lot longer than if he goes in with them.
Which is probably true, and like, I'm not sure what kind of logic the Doctor was using here. Like, yeah, a bigger act is going to go over more well with the audience. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
Well,
but maybe. I mean, they gave all the single-person acts a 0, like Nord and WizKid, so maybe.
Well, they go in, and Captain Cook calls the ringleader over, and he reveals that Mags is a werewolf, and also apparently you can simulate moonlight with the...
Yeah.
That was a bit questionable.
Well, I think the reason why she originally started transforming was like he had some... I don't know what he was doing. He was like channeling the light of the eye or something. I don't know.
No, he had them simulate moonlight with the stage lights, and that's why.
Yeah, I know, but I know.
I was like,
before that, she was like transform. Oh, I guess that was that an actual moon earlier? I don't know.
No, it was they were like taking the cover off the light, which is why it looked like a crescent moon, and then it was growing bigger and bigger. That's what that shot was.
No, before like when she first starts transforming, like in the catacombs. Oh. I don't remember why that happened, but it did. So.
I think she said she did that on purpose because she was like, I gave you time. When the Doctor comes back, she's like, I gave you time to escape, Doctor. And he's like, yes, you did. And I didn't waste it. I met with Ace and I came up with this great plan.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she starts transforming here.
The Doctor's like, didn't see that coming.
In episode 3, the Doctor's like, no, this isn't you, Mags.
Episode 4.
Yeah, 4. He's like, no, this isn't you, Mags. You're not this violent. Except Mags apparently when you're a werewolf.
Mags is like, oh yeah, you're right. Guess I'll just kill Captain Cook.
Yeah, so she does.
Well, actually, the Doctor does try to stop her from killing Captain Cook, because she goes to try to kill Captain Cook, and the Doctor's like, no, don't do it. And but she does it anyway, and he's like, you didn't have to kill him.
Yeah, was she like fully not werewolf when she decides to go kill Captain Cook, or was she like still semi-werewolf? She's just
I don't know.
Probably. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm just guessing this in order to like Mags a bit more, but I'm guessing she just does it in werewolf like form,
I think she was a full werewolf, but I think she had control, or at least vague control of her actions, because later she's like, I don't think I can control it, and the Doc's like, yeah, you can. You can control it. Probably because I've seen you do it. But anyway. Yeah, so this is kind of the start of the Doctor's intricate and no way he could have known everything was going to work out plan. Because he escapes with Mags while they're distracted because Captain Cook just got brutally mauled in front of their eyes. The ringleader's like, I kind of regret my life choices. But it's okay because Morgana and the ringleader just get vaporized now.
Yeah, the audience demands more entertainment, so the head clown decides that it's going to kill off Morgana and the ringleader, which it does.
And they're like, ooh,
they give that a 9.
we got nobody left now. Like, we demand more. So the Doctor and Mags are running around, and Ace, Kingpin, and... Okay, so Ace King and Bellboy... So Bellboy decides to stay behind to give them time to escape, so she gives Ace this control panel for his big robot, and then
which was the robot from the beginning.
He gets killed by the clowns. That was in episode 3, actually.
Yeah.
So Ace and Kingpin go to the bus.
They retrieve the thingamajig.
Yeah, the thing for the eye that powers it up so they can drop it into the bigger eye in the ground.
Yeah. Sounds actually really dumb when you say it like that. But yeah. And yeah, I think they run around a little bit more, and they reconvene with the Doctor and Mags, and the Doctor's like, all right, gotta go do this thing. And then Mags, Ace, and Kingpin go off to do their thing.
Also, they watch the globe blow up in their face, and they're like, what the... Anyway, so they...
It starts tornadoing inside the circus tent.
Yeah, the Doctor goes into the circus tent, and then we get this effect that's... it's really cool, and then you start to notice that so it's like all orangey.
It's going on for longer than it should.
Yes, and also you start to notice that the like blue bits that are slapping against the Doctor's face is just like someone with tinsel slapping it against Sylvester McCoy's face.
I didn't notice that.
Go back and watch it. You can tell it's like 100% just a piece of tinsel has been smacked against his face.
All right, sure.
And he shows up in the...
like a Colosseum type thing.
With these...
And apparently these gods of Ragnarok have been controlling everything the entire time.
This is where we get some of my favorite shots of this serial.
Yeah, I really liked this plot point, like, really liked it. But it kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, surprise, it was actually these gods the entire time.
They kind of build up to it with the eye and the pit and
the family, which is obviously the 3 gods. They were trying to exist in multiple times at once to be more entertained. Not sure who was entertaining them in this Colosseum before the Doctor showed up, but probably someone.
But so throughout the serial, there's been some reaction shots of the family, and they've been actual reaction shots. But now, when the Doctor performs magic, we cut to reaction shots of the gods. But because the costumes are like really obviously just helmets that these actors are wearing, they just don't react in any like noticeable way. So there's just these shots of these blank god faces, and I was like, what?
Yeah, they're gods. Their reactions are beyond human comprehension.
The reactions were stone-faced.
Yeah, they weren't impressed by the Doctor. That's why they were...
And yet they somehow let him live for long enough to...
I mean, he was the only one there. They were probably holding out hope that he would somehow get better. It's like when you're watching a really bad movie and you're like, maybe it'll get better in the next 10 minutes, and it doesn't. And you're like, all right, maybe I'll give it 5 more minutes. Actually, I don't do that. I really like watching bad movies, but I do that with books. Because I really don't like reading bad books. Mainly because reading a book takes like several more hours than it takes to watch a movie, usually.
Usually.
Yeah, I mean, depends what book it is. If it's like The Cat in the Hat, it'll probably take way longer now.
Took me 3 days to read The Cat in the Hat. So the Doctor's performing these magic tricks, and like he pulls eggs out of his mouth, and he...
Yeah, that actually looked kind of sickening. I just imagine myself doing that. It's like, yeah.
Well, McCoy kind of fumbles the trick a little bit because you can kind of tell that he has an egg in his hand at one point, but...
I couldn't.
But the next trick was pretty cool. He he turns this rope into a snake. Mm-hmm. He like puts it in this tin and he lights it on fire, and then it turns into a snake, and then he turns around and turns the snake into his umbrella. He lights it on fire and like dumps out the ashes, and he's like, oh, well, that didn't work. That's not what I expected.
Speaking of fire, there's like a funny little anecdote from later on in this serial.
Yeah.
Anyway, the gods aren't pleased, and they start shooting these psychic lasers at him. Meanwhile, Ace, Mags, and Kingpin have killed a bunch of clowns and robots.
Yeah, they used the big robot that's buried by the bus, the one that Mags was messing around with earlier.
Yeah.
to kill the clowns. So Ace is just a murderous psychopath at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we already knew that.
She's probably getting it from the doctor.
I mean, I don't know. She seemed kind of violent before she even met him.
That's true. The doctor makes this very small speech to the gods of Ragnarok, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. Just get on with your act. And he's like, all right, sure.
Guess you're going to kill me if I don't, so okay.
He's like, I guess I don't have a choice. So...
Although they do seem to have terrible aim. I mean, even despite the fact that the doctor is using the eye to deflect their lasers, it seemed like a lot of those shots were missing.
Well, they make it rain. Like, no. The doctor's just holding fat stacks of cash. No, I actually mean they make it rain, and the doctor uses his umbrella to keep dry. So, continuing that trend of him using that umbrella for things. So, yeah, Ace and Kingpin and Mags make it to the eye in the ground, and they chuck the medallion in. Not before Captain Cook gets resurrected by the gods of Ragnarok to come and...
No, I thought he got resurrected by, like, a technique that he learned on another planet, because they're like, what? We thought you were dead? And he's like, I remember I was on such and such planet where the people stayed alive long after they had been killed. And I was like, did you just pick up on this technique? Apparently so. That's what I got out of it.
I don't know. I thought it was the gods of Ragnarok because they're like, we'll take over this universe by any means imaginable, and then it cuts to Captain Cook, like, rising off a thing, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, he falls into the pit, so...
He, like, walks into the pit, and he's like, whee! So Kingpin got his memory back when they rejoined the eye. He was like, oh yeah, I remember everything now.
Well, I guess he didn't get his memory back, but he got his, like, mind back.
Yeah, I got
way earlier.
Unfried.
Yeah. So he gets his memory back, and apparently he was the leader of the psychic circus.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because he seems a lot more sane than Ringleader or Morgana.
Also, his name was
Morgana,
Kingpin.
Yeah, there's that. So he and Mags are pretty much the only ones left alive at this point.
With Ace and the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So the doctor keeps checking his watch, and he's like, yeah, I've been stalling for time. It's just all a matter of timing things correctly. And he puts his umbrella on the ground, and then Ace drops the medallion in the eye, and it lands right there on the doctor's umbrella at that exact moment. I'm like, how would he have known? What?
I got that it was just all a huge, happy coincidence. That he was just playing off that he planned.
How would he have planned this? Like, obviously they're trying to make the Seventh Doctor the master planner and everything, and it's like vaguely worked for the past 3 serials, but there's no way that it would have... What?
Well, I mean, they've been setting up for, like, the past 3 serials, like, oh, the Doctor, like, implemented this plan, and then he, like, kind of forgot or, like, messed it up in some way, so... It seemed to me that he was just like, yeah, I'm going to create this plan. And then he's like, oh, look, the medallion right here. That's convenient and necessary to my plan. Guess I'll use it.
He's setting up these, like, overly complex plans that all somehow seem to work. He's like the exact opposite of every doctor before him who set up these plans that all completely fail at the end. Well, which I guess is kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess he's also sort of the opposite of every doctor that came before him in the fact that he, like, is pretty successful in killing, like, the Daleks and the Cybermen, and now these gods of Ragnarok.
He's the most powerful doctor we've had. He's like, ha ha ha. Anyway,
so
somehow still doesn't want power, though. He's like, hey, you want to join us to start this circus? And he's like, no.
I mean... It's not necessarily power, because, I mean, you assume they're not going to just go power hungry and, like, cater to these ancient gods again.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
So anyway, the medallion, I think, starts some sort of landslide or cave-in or whatever.
Yeah, it starts blowing up the Colosseum, and then the doc's like, oh, better leave now. And he just casually walks out of the circus tent, and the circus tent blows up behind him.
Yeah, and... like all
good explosions, he just walks away without looking back.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
But apparently the pyrotechnics team went overboard, according to the wiki, and some parts of McCoy's clothing caught fire, but since he knew there wasn't going to be a retake, he just
kept walking.
Yeah, went along with it.
Props to McCoy for that.
Yeah, good on him, unlike those season 1 actors who didn't care whether or not there would be a retake and just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
That wasn't
there's,
really their fault most of the time. But
well, there seems to be a lot of anecdotes that behind the scenes, at least McCoy actually like
cared about the show.
yeah, actually cares about trying to make the show good. Like, there's a part where apparently in, I think it was Remembrance of the Daleks, they're going to have a scene where the Doctor would be pointing a gun at the Daleks, and Sylvester McCoy said, "The Doctor abhors guns. I'm not going to do this." So they had to rewrite
Well, I mean,
the
except
scene.
for the third Doctor and all.
I mean, yeah, but like, there's these anecdotes that McCoy actually does care about the show, which is more than can be said about, you know, certain people on the production team.
and certain people who played the Doctor. Or certain person who played the Doctor, rather.
So,
I mean, pretty much all of them cared except he who shall not be named this time.
what, you mean Peter Cushing? Rowan Atkinson? Richard Grant? Who are we talking
You know
about?
who I think you know who I'm talking
No,
about.
I do.
Okay.
I'm just being dumb.
So yeah, it ends with Mags and Kingpin offering Doctor and Ace, like we already mentioned, to join the circus with them. And the Doctor's like, "No, we got other places to be, so no."
Yeah, that line the Doctor says right at the end feels like they slapped it on later when they realized this was going to be the season finale. So like, we got other galaxies to explore, and I'm like, huh?
I mean, not that if this was the third serial of the season, not that would necessarily like not have been there. Like I didn't get that.
It just feels like it was designed to end
like
the
end
season.
on. Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, there's this funny scene where the Captain Cook is like basically throwing heavy shade at the Doctor, like, "You'll never be a true explorer like me." And I'm like, if only you knew, Captain Cook, if only you knew.
But I mean, obviously, Captain Cook is the better explorer because he
Does.
wears. I was gonna say he dresses to the job, but
I mean, the Doctor dresses to the job. It's just never the job of the explorer, you know. It's the job of the dandy old grandpa, or the space hobo, or the opera singer.
the job of the space hobo,
the opera singer,
the opera singer. When does he dress like an opera singer?
third Doctor in his crazy cape, his opera cape,
I mean,
and
maybe.
fluffy outfit. I don't know what I'd say the fourth Doctor was. And the fifth Doctor was obviously a cricket player, and sixth Doctor
was just yeah.
Sixth Doctor was your birthday clown. Seventh Doctor is obviously
You to entertain your kids.
what even is the seventh Doctor? Anyway, you know, good cap to a decent season.
Yeah, I loved this serial. Just gonna go ahead and say it.
Probably my favorite Seventh Doctor serial.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just with how insane it was at times, and just like all these elements that just had nothing to do with each other, like Captain Cook and like the circus and Whiz Kid and this guy on a bike and the fruit seller, and it's like, I don't know, it just all came together in this weird trash but great amalgamation.
Somehow it all worked together.
Yeah.
Somehow, I mean, it shouldn't have. Like, logically, none of it should have worked, but it did. And
yeah, it was like Armageddon Factor, just throwing all this stuff
this
together.
works better than Armageddon Factor. This season, I think, was pretty decent. Surprisingly,
yeah.
we haven't had like an explicitly "this is garbage" serial yet for the Seventh Doctor. We have, but only 4 left.
Every Doctor has one, except the third Doctor.
The third Doctor had that second Peladon serial, which I still contend was pretty bad.
Well, actually, the sixth Doctor didn't have one that was like way worse than the others.
I mean,
It didn't have
Mind
one-
Warp / Vengeance on Varos,
Well,
depending
I guess
on which one of us you ask.
that wasn't like Massacre, Space Pirates, Warriors of the Deep level. I mean, I'm the
Underworld.
Underworld. I know out of the two of us, I'm the only one who thinks Warriors of the Deep is in like the top 3 worst serials of all time.
No, it's obviously Frontiers. Frontiers is worse than Warriors of the Deep.
Yeah, no.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, there's still time for that really bad Seventh Doctor serial in the 4 we have left.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but there's still time for it.
Because I think these past 2 seasons have been surprisingly some of the most, like, consistently at least decent quality stories. It's like the most consistent.
I guess, like, they weren't great, but
they were consistent.
I guess there was the sort of rehash with Remembrance and Silver Nemesis. So that was kind of lame, but
I guess, but
I guess it's kind of interesting to see, like, the same like almost the same story, but with a slightly different take on like in how it's like the two biggest Doctor Who villains.
Yeah. And
somewhat.
Hopefully next season we get the Master. Just itching for that Master / Seventh Doctor showdown. I want to see what happens when Master Planner Seventh Doctor goes up against Master Anthony Ainley. Actually, we'll see him against the Jeffrey Beavers Master, and my choice for the upcoming Wilderness years, but
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, one thing
soon, actually.
Yeah, no, one thing this season actually did way better than last season was not having all that weird, out of place music.
Yeah.
So good on them for like messing it up for a season when they really never have, and then rectifying it, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing I guess is I don't know, I was listening to 42 to Doomsday, and they're talking about how I guess Ace is kind of the beginning of this era where the companions are more co-stars of the show rather than like the Doctor being the main star and the companions just kind of being there.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I like it because, I mean, if you've listened to any of our episodes before, you know I like the companions more than the Doctor.
I mean, I like it when they give them, I guess, approximately equal footing, like they did in this serial where the Doctor's like, he's distracting the circus and Ace is going to find the medallion. But in the reboot, they take it way too far where the companion becomes the main character on the show, and you're like, but I'm watching Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with that.
You just wait. just wait till season 8 of the reboot, series 8.
Well, the companions are always like better characters because, like we mentioned before, the Doctor is like arguably too infallible of a character. So,
yeah, and I guess they keep trying to add faults to the Doctor, but
it's like it depends who writes it. That's why I don't want to say he's an infallible character, because it like often depends who writes it.
Yeah,
and with a show with like so many writers, obviously there's going to be like disparaging elements, or not disparaging. I don't know what the term is, like differing elements. Mm-hmm. Which often results in like a pretty crappy serial sometimes. So
yeah, I mean, it's like how we mentioned that the Sixth Doctor's brashness was written differently by every writer on the show ever, and how that kind of like ruined his run a little bit because they could never nail down the
supposed arc that he was supposed to have.
They could like never nail down what they were trying to do. But I guess we'll see in the coming the 1 month we have left with.
Yeah.
Sylvester
McCoy.
I think, I mean, it feels really quick that we've gone through the Seventh Doctor, but I think it's still longer than the Sixth Doctor. So
yeah, it is definitely longer.
Yeah.
Sixth Doctor only had 9 stories, I think. Or
yeah, because I think it was 4 and then the 1.
Yeah.
I mean, we also did Spiral Scratch, but we should just
count Spiral from our memory.
We should just count Spiral Scratch as the garbage story for the Sixth Doctor, to be honest.
I guess so.
Anyway, email us at thedoctor@decorativevegetable.com. Questions, comments, concerns, angry rants, love letters, your, I guess, closing thoughts on the Seventh Doctor. Find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play, all at Trust Your Doctor. Leave a rating if you liked the show.
Check us out on Facebook, Trust Your Doctor. Like us on Facebook. Also check us out on Twitter, TYD Podcast, and follow us on Twitter. And next week we start the final season of Classic Doctor Who with Battlefield. But until then, the end.